Hello, my sweet little honeys. Welcome back. I'm Anastasia. I'm a Toronto-based actor, content creator, and a social media producer. And if you are new, welcome. I'm so excited to have you all here. 1 minute, I am working Monday to Friday on a lifestyle show as a social media producer. I'm in and out of meetings. I'm coming up with TikTok trends, Instagram trends, making videos, editing them, clipping them, looking at what episodes we're filming, what artists are we interviewing, and I'm putting it all together. And then at 5 o'clock, I close my little computer and I'm biking home to be learning my lines for the upcoming audition for a big TV network. I'm thinking about the character, I'm thinking about the script, I'm thinking what I'm wearing, I'm getting into it. What if I told you that people have always said to me that you aren't able to do both? That people have always told me in the last 10 years of me being an actor that you always have to choose. Either you're going to have a steady paycheck and you're going to make money, or you're going to do something creative and passionate, which is acting, but there's no guarantee in what you're going to be doing. And you're right, for a really long time, I actually did really believe these people, and I did live that life. I thought that being an actor, you had to live the iconic starving artist lifestyle in order to be making it somewhere in this industry. You're literally eating like canned food, you're not going out with your friends, and instead that money's going into a theater ticket. All you do is live, breathe, eat, acting. You don't do anything else, and that's it. You cannot have a steady paycheck. What if I told you that's not true? And what if I told you that it is actually possible, that you can have a steady paycheck, that you can have a career and you can work 9 to 5 while also building a beautiful career as an actor as well? Because it is true. It is possible. I'm doing it and I'm loving it, and I'm going to show you in this video how to do it. Imagine your life is literally like a split screen. On one side, you have your entire 9 to 5 job, which is where you make your money, you go to the office or you're working from home, whatever, you're doing like the day-to-day task. And then the other half is after 5 o'clock, you are working on the creative part. And it literally doesn't necessarily have to be acting. It could literally be you doing YouTube videos, you doing TikTok, you are doing a podcast, you're writing, like whatever it is. And it's a lot. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, you are hustling, you are working a lot, and you are constantly in like a state of always doing something, but at the end of the day, it is rewarding because you want to do this. That's the bottom line. If you want to do it, you will get there. And yeah, in order to make somewhere in your life, you're gonna need to hustle. People who came from nothing and became millionaires. You think they just sat on their ass all day long and did nothing? No, they worked, they hustled, they worked long hours, they worked multiple things, they got it done. And that's exactly what you have to do if you wanna be an artist, specifically in Toronto. It is hustling, it's a lot of work, but it is possible and you can get it done. For a long time, I felt really ashamed when I'd be sitting, during my lunch break, and not even just what my job is now, just in general. I'm a server for a really long time, and I recently just left that industry, and then I was working in the clinic, and I always felt ashamed that I'm like, I see these iconic actors, and again, this is a PSA, what you see on social media isn't always true. A lot of these people may not even be showing their real life of what they actually are doing. They're just showing snippets of moments. You book something doesn't mean that you're gonna book something all the time. So this person could have created a social media video about booking something and repurposed it 6 different times or 10 different times. And you're gonna see it thinking it's a whole new booking every single time, but it's not. I'm not saying that every content creator does this, no. But there's been times where I'm sitting on my lunch break and I'm scrolling endlessly through and I'm seeing these videos and I'm like, oh my God, like what are these guys doing that I'm not doing? How are you living like this iconic actor life, but you're not seem to be working at a day job or like serving, or like how do you are making your money? Like is TikTok, that's what's paying it? Like what is going on here? And I've always felt really ashamed to tell people that I had another job, that I was doing something else. And funny enough, I have a channel that has helped me to overcome that shame and be really openly vulnerable and honest, because this is what it's about. This is what you should be honest about. It's not easy being an actor, and it's a big hustle, and there's a lot to put into it. And yeah, you might have to work multiple jobs. I've been there, I've done that. I've done that for 10 years. So it's okay to feel that way. It's okay to look at these things and feel shame, but I'm gonna tell you that there's no shame. There's no shame in the game. Guys, you gotta do what you gotta do in order to make it an actor. You gotta hustle the way you gotta hustle in order to make it as an actor, because you want to make it as an actor. If you're sitting there during your lunch break and you're scrolling through and you feel like you're in like this really stuck phase of like, how do I do this? How do I manage doing my 9 to 5 job, but then also at the same time be as a working actor? Then this video is for you. I'm gonna break it down from how to avoid the burnouts, how creative time management, how to properly schedule everything out, how to make it work. I will break down my entire way of doing it, and it's all gonna be in this one video. The why in your day job. We need to change the mindset of talking and thinking about your day job. Fun fact, I learned this actually in therapy. Your day job needs to be looked at as not something as negative and as something that you're like, why am I doing this? You can't look at it as like, oh my God, I hate this job, I have to go here. You need to find the why. Yes, obviously the biggest why is, well, I need to make money and this is how it's financially sustaining me. Yes, correct. Check mark. We got that done. But you also need to change the mindset and the positive thinking about it. Being a starving artist isn't just outdated, it's also extremely dangerous for your mental health. It does not help you whatsoever. Being a working actor and also having a working career is very doable and very normal. I used to think of my serving job as like the literal devil. I hated it. I could not stand. And I would sit there and be like, why am I doing this? This is so bad. I hate it. I couldn't get into it. And the funny part is this actually resulted horribly in my auditions because I was already in such a state of negativity and such a hard time of going through it. I ended up bringing it into the audition room as well. And casting directors, whether they're like spiritual or energetic or not, they feel that shit. Your agent can tell that you're not in it. And I was not in it because my mindset all day long for 8, 9, 10 hours of the day was so negative towards my day job that when I had to do that audition in the evening, I was like, oh my God, am I ever struggling in what I'm doing here? I want you to start thinking of your day job as not as your survival job, but as your an angel investor. I know this sounds so weird, but to me, it's like a spiritual way of thinking. This is your guardian angel. This is what's holding you up right now and paying your bills. And this is what your investor is. Why? Because you're investing the money that you're making from this day job into your acting career. This job is investing your headshots. This job is investing your acting classes. This job is investing the food on your table, the mortgage or the rent that you're paying. This job is investing, I don't know, what else you got to get for acting? Your camera, your lights, whatever. This is what is investing into you becoming the actor that you want to become. When you think of it as a survival job, you're just putting yourself in a really negative mindset of like, just get in and get out and just do it. And then that's it. End of story. I hate it, this and that. It does not help. You're not trying to survive. You're trying to thrive. And so if you keep telling yourself that this is just like a survival job, it's going to come off like that in your mindset. When I started looking at my day jobs as an investing job, things started to shift with me because I started to feel lighter going to work. I didn't feel as depleted. I didn't feel as dead. I also didn't feel as like exhausted leaving my job as well. When you stop seeing your job as your biggest enemy and instead you see it as your biggest supporter, your mindset, I kid you not, honey's like, it literally changes. It's a big game changer because I started doing that. In my therapy, my therapist was like, you need to stop seeing it as something bad. You have to start seeing it and showing a little bit of gratitude. Your mindset starts to shift, your energy starts to shift, your emotion starts to shift. And quite frankly, it was literally helping me so much. I felt different, I felt better. And this is where I also noticed that when I started applying to other jobs, like the social media producing stuff that I do now, I felt more wanting to go for it. And I felt more like, okay, maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe I can get this done. Maybe I can go forward with it. Before, I was in such a state of darkness and like, oh my God, I hate this job, blah, blah, blah. It was hard for me to let go of the resistance and apply to these jobs and bring that good energy into those jobs as well. Once you start looking at your 9-to-5 job as your biggest supporter, it starts to make your circumstances better and you stop being the victim of your circumstances. And that really, really helps for you to move forward because then it still starts to spill into creative work and things start to really blossom. It's very interesting to see. And I can bet you that if you did this a year from now and you watched your auditions when you were like really struggling, and then you watched your auditions a year later, you could probably most likely see a shift in your work in acting because you changed your mindset to a positive one with your 9-to-5 job. Now we're going to talk about the how in the practical steps. So you've already got your mindset changed. Great, we're gonna clock that in and we're gonna continue down the line of changing the how in this whole 9 to 5 acting career. The first thing that was big for me was becoming a master of my own time. Okay, let's be real here. We all like to sit and scroll on TikTok and Instagram Reels endlessly and watch a bunch of YouTube videos and blah, blah, blah. I used to say all the time, I don't have time. I hate to say it, you do have time. If you want it, you will have time. I met a lot of interesting people in my lifestyle and they're like, oh, like I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm like, well, if you're gonna keep telling yourself that you can't do the audition or you can't find the agent or you can't get into the audition room, then most likely you will not be able to, because you're giving yourself that mindset that you will not be able to do it. And that's not right for you. When it comes to be a master of your own time, I literally schedule out everything. So now that I don't work on my serving jobs, Sundays has become my like reset day. This is where I sit and I take my calendar and I literally map out, and I map out like down to the last minute of exactly what I'm doing and the time for it. Obviously my Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job has to be first. So Monday to Friday 9 to 5, that goes in there. Then after my 5 o'clock Monday to Friday, I will build in things that have to happen. After my 9 to 5 has been blocked out, I will then block out Monday to Friday after as my acting commitment, my YouTube commitments, and now I have my new project that I'm working on is my podcast. So I build that in as well. Yes, obviously with auditions, they do come kind of out of nowhere. So you need to almost like find a time that you can leave a little bit of leeway for auditions. But at the end of the day, you have to, you do know that auditions don't turn up necessarily like within 24 hours. Like for example, on Friday, my fiance got an audition and it's not due until Monday. So that gives you a 3-day window to kind of get the audition done. Once I start to block everything out, it almost becomes like your Bible. It makes it easier for me to actually do things. Instead of waking up and being like, what should I do after my 5 o'clock job today? I'm already sitting there being like, okay, perfect. I'm gonna learn that script for the audition that I have this next week. You know what? I should call my agent and schedule a meeting. Today I'm going to plan out what I'm gonna do for my YouTube video. And then that way everything's kind of figured out. This also makes it easier for then when you do want to have like friends over and you wanna have date night, you wanna go see family, you can already plan out your whole schedule and you will know what to do. No time goes to waste. And I know this sounds like a really crazy schedule, but believe me, it is crazier when you do not have it planned because you feel like you're not getting it done. You feel like you can't keep up. I started to be hard on myself being like, oh my God, I planned all these things to do in one night. Let's also be realistic. Is it possible for you to film a YouTube video, film a self-tape, learn another self-tape, reach out to agents, and also do acting class all in one night? No, of course not. If you work 9 to 5, you end at 5, you should probably be going to bed around 10 or 11 so you get a full night's rest and then also wake up the next day. Don't forget, what about also working out? What about doing your extra things like making food and laundry and all this kind of stuff? When you plan it out and space it out throughout a whole week, you feel more like you're getting things done because you're giving your body a chance to properly do it throughout the whole week. This way, when you're waking up, you're not sitting there and wondering, I wonder what I should be doing today with my acting. There's no wondering, it's already there in your calendar. Aha, so today's the day that I'm going to figure out what agent I want to have for myself. You're gonna go on IMDb for an hour or so, an hour and a half, and write down every agent agency that you're interested in going to. Okay, the next day, once you've done that, it's already gonna be in your calendar that you've chosen, let's say 10 agents. And now today's the day that you're gonna prep your package, because that takes a long time, in order to apply to those agencies. And then on the Wednesday, the 3rd day in, that's the day you're going to be applying to those agencies. Within this 3-day, you've had your entire plan of applying to agencies done, and it feels like such a big accomplishment and a huge weight off your shoulders. All this little like dead time that you have ends up being taken over. Like you have a 1-hour lunch, you eat your lunch, and then you study your lines. You have a 30-minute commute to come home. You're either listening to an acting podcast, you're maybe studying a monologue, you're researching what theater auditions are in the industry. Like you're kind of using all this time. So then when you are coming home, you're not overpiling all these extra little things that you have to do. And the next thing you know, at like 11 o'clock, you are so exhausted, you could barely even think. Use the time wisely. Plan it out, map it out, down from the moment you wake up at 7 a.m. or whatever time you wake up, down to the last minute of you going to bed. The next thing I want to talk about is choosing the right job. I understand that this is really hard because job market is really difficult. Believe me, I know it took me 3 years to get the job that I am at now. The nice thing is that there has become a more widespread of different kind of jobs coming out there, and you have a little bit more leeway of what you can and cannot choose. Pre-COVID, remote jobs did not exist. Like, we all know this. Like, work from home was not a thing. Nobody worked from home. The only time you work from home is when you were like legitimately sick. Nobody had that. Nobody can do that. Doing the remote is obviously very easy when you are doing the acting, but also finding the right job does help you as well. Not every job is obviously created equal for the acting industry, and finding a job that is flexible does make it easier for you. I've talked about how part-time jobs are really easy. You working in the food and beverage industry, whether that be working at a coffee shop, working as a server, hostess, server assistant, bartender, those jobs are obviously very easy and flexible to manage. Not only are you able to just give up shifts, you're also pick up shifts, you can switch shifts, change shifts, whatever. It makes it really easier when you have the acting going on like the side. The other thing, if you wanted to do 9-to-5 jobs, you just have to find a job that you do have some sort of interest in. Yes, of course, not every job that I had in my life, I had full interest, but there was a part of me that's like, this is a manageable job. I don't mind it. It's not the worst thing. Finding the right job made it easier to have the flexibility and to make it work. Finding a job as well that's actually within the acting industry, I find, and it is 9-to-5, is probably the easiest if you want to stick in the 9-to-5 world, because you're in an industry that is already adjacent to what you're doing on the side as well. This is also a gateway for you to kind of take a look what goes on in the other side of acting that you don't get to see as an actor, you don't have access to. And on top of it, when you do need the time off for booking things, when you need the time off or the extra time to film an audition or whatever, you're in an industry that will understand it. So this can be a production assistant, production coordinator, working on sets, working for media companies, working for production companies, working for digital companies. You could be part of an agency, modeling agency, being a part of photography studios, working as in a casting office, as a casting assistant. These are great jobs for you to kind of work as a 9-to-5 job, but then you're also still in the acting industry, and at the same time, you get to build your acting on the side. The goal is to find a job that supports you logistically and also financially when it comes to the acting. And you never want to be ashamed of it. Guys, let's be real here. Some of the biggest actors had to hustle for like 20 years before they finally made it. So if you have to hustle for 15, 10, 5, 10, 20, whatever it is, that is okay. They made it, they got there, they hustled, and look at them and where they are now. Okay, we're gonna talk about perfecting your audition strategy. This one was really interesting. I had a TikTok creator one time talk about, and she's all about organizing, and she talked about how if you always are working from home and you have a really messy home, everything's piled, and your workspace in your home is not clean, you don't even have a designated workspace, it makes it really hard for you to want to stay motivated and to do it, which I actually do agree with. When you have to do that, let's say you're at work, it's 12 o'clock, you get an email from your agent or a call from an agent, and they're like, hey, listen, you have an audition that's due tonight. Can you do this last minute? So 2 options here. Number 1, always have your self-tape studio ready to go. This is huge. We used to, my fiance and I, our self-tape studio used to be like covered with everything. We had to move our carpet, we had to move our couch, we had to move our coffee table, we had to move the table with the chairs out of the way, take away the light, take away the printer, take away all the frames, and then set up the studio. This was so annoying. And you also have to remember 2 of us are actors doing it, so it's double the self-tapes. There was times where we were doing 5 self-tapes a week, and we were constantly moving all of this back and forth. What started happening was we started to resent doing the self-tape because of the amount of work going in to move everything out of the way, set it up, and then set it back down and move it back in was so annoying that when it came to doing the self-tape, you're like, I don't even want to do this self-tape anymore because I'm so tired of moving this crap back and forth. We then decided we need to rearrange our furniture in our 500 square foot bachelor apartment because this is impossible. You cannot do this. Having the self-tape studio and not using the time to set up your self-tape studio is a huge help in doing the self-tape. Now, that area is clear. All we have is a little table. We just have to move it to the side. You put the ring light up, and then that's it. It makes it so much easier. This is kind of what I talked about, the time blocking. Like this extra time blocking that you need to set this all up takes time away from you doing the self-tape. If you already have a corner with your ring light, things already accessible, easy for you to set it up and do it, that's when things get really easy for you to do your self-tape. The other thing is, If, let's say, you had that self-tape, it's due at the end of the night and you are working and let's say you're on your lunch break, I would take that lunch break right now, as we talked about the time blocking, use that time blocking to memorize your lines. So when you are coming home, you're not having to also memorize your lines, figure out your character analysis, get yourself into the character, do your hair, do your makeup, get the clothes, set up the studio. That right there probably would have taken you already 2 to 3 hours to get it all out of the way. And then you start filming your self-tape. And at that point, you're like, I haven't even made dinner. I haven't even prepped myself for the next day. I haven't done my laundry. I didn't do the things that I was supposed to do tonight because I'm doing the self-tape as well. If you use your time management, time blocking accordingly, it will make things so much easier. Last thing I want to talk about in this section is it is okay to say no. If you do feel that you cannot do this audition in the same day when it's due at the end of the day, that is okay. I have done that. And recently, actually, I had to audition for something quite big, and it was like a 5 or 6 pager that I had to memorize, and it was due at the end of the day. It was a very last minute audition. As much as I wanted to audition for it, I said no, I could not do it. The reason why I said no, because I'm not about the quantity, I'm about the quality. I will not do an audition for the sake of doing the audition. My work is out there, my name is on there, my agent's name is on there. I want to give good quality work. And if that means that I have to say no, because I know I'm not gonna be able to get this done in a small time span, then I'd rather not do it at all. When you audition, this is you applying your resume constantly. So you wanna apply the finished product, not like a half-assed resume for the sake of just doing the resume. If you're gonna apply for the job, you apply accordingly and properly and well with everything put together. It's the same thing with audition. You wanna do the exact same thing, putting it all together, making sure that your lines are memorized, making sure you know your character, you're dressed well, you know what you're doing. You're not all over the place, you're in it, and this is why it's okay to say no. In the long run, it's going to help you rather than you just doing all these random auditions because it just doesn't make sense for you in the moment. The fourth thing we're gonna talk about is communication is key. When it comes to your job and acting, and someone's asked me about this, do you just walk in there guns blazing saying, I'm an actor? Well, this is one of those topics that I'd say it's there's no right answer. There are people that will tell you, no, you should 100% go in there yelling that you're an actor and make sure that's the first thing you say in the interview. And there's other people that are going to be like, no, you don't say anything at all. You do not say anything at all until you book, then you tell them. I'm kind of a little bit of the person that's in the middle. You want to be honest, but your honesty has to be strategic. When I got my job that I have right now as a social media producer, did I walk into that interview and the first thing I said that I was an actor? No. But did I completely not mention it at all in the interview? Also no. What I did is I proved myself that, hey, I'm here to do this job. I know that I'm gonna do well in this job and I wanna do this job. And then I did mention to them, I do also wanna let you know, I do something on the side, which is my acting. I have an agent, I have audition. I could possibly book something that I need some time. They were full, aware and in the clear of what was happening, and they were all okay with it. And people have asked me, what are you gonna do when you book something? And I honestly am I'll tell them, when the time comes, I will figure that out. And when that happens, I will work with them with whatever the time is that I need to have off and make it work with my work schedule. You want to be honest with the people that you work with, because I've had jobs and instances where I was not honest, and the next thing I know, when I did book something, it was a little bit of it was bad. It was not amazing, and it did not work in my favor. And there's no reason for you not to be honest. You want to do this. You want to get the time off. You want to tell people that I'm an actor and I want to be doing this. So I would be honest, but word it in a way where you're not saying that essentially this job is nothing and I'm going to drop it any time and that I'm not going to do the work and I'm not going to show up for my shifts because of blah, blah, blah. You're still going to get the job done at the end of the day because you are paying to do the job and you're getting paid to do it well. And if there's an emergency situation, that's okay, but you will always make it work to your best abilities. Don't be lying about your job and all this kind of stuff. The other thing that is important is to be honest with your agent. This is a huge, huge thing. I find that a lot of actors are not honest with their agent and what they do. They're ready to drop anything and everything. I told my agent very honestly that I'm a social media producer. I'm in a really big field right now that for me to just jump back and forth is not available. My fiance is a manager for a company. He can't just jump also back and forth as well. His agent also knows that he's a manager in this company as well. Now, did that change the game for us? No, not really. We both auditioned quite well. We both auditioned for really good stuff. Nothing really changed. It's just, it made it aware that if all of a sudden my agent said, can you show up on set tomorrow for the wardrobe or blah, 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 I have to say, nope. You are aware, I have this job. I can't just show up tomorrow. I don't have free time like that. I need some time in advance. What I'm doing is I'm making both careers in my life and I'm taking them seriously and I'm taking them professionally, and it makes life so much easier. The last thing we're going to talk about is staying creative and avoiding burnout. A burnt out actor is not a fun time. It's not a good time, and it does not help you, and it does not help your work. This is where I talk about the time management again, and you actually schedule like totally self-care days. I'm talking about like you were not doing any social media stuff for yourself. You were not looking at IMDb pages for agents. You are not listening to any acting podcasts. You're not like reading acting books. Like you are completely disengaging from the acting and your 9-to-5 job and just focusing on you. And that is whatever you want it to be. You want to watch your favorite TV show, you want to have a movie night, you want to go for dinner, you want to hang out with some friends, you want to do the park, you want to, I don't know, go get a facial, whatever it is for you, you schedule that time. You do however much you need. I do my self-care every week, and that varies depending on the week and what I feel I'm going to be needing. Typically, I may not schedule exactly what that day is going to look like. I tend to do it as the time comes. Sometimes I'm so burnt out that I can't even see people, that all I want to do is sit with my fiance and watch a movie. There's times where I'm like, I actually wouldn't mind going out because I've spent so much time at home prepping myself for all my videos and everything that I actually want to put some makeup on. I want to put some cute clothes on, a cute outfit, and like go get a drink, go get a glass of wine on the west side or something and have a nice little date night with my man. So depends on my self-care days, but those I schedule in because it's so important to give yourself that time to break. When you give yourself a break from everything that you're doing, you actually are bettering yourself and you're making your creativity become better. It makes it easier for you. People, guys, work-life balance is so huge right now. You have no idea how much people talk about it. And this is why so many people are like, do less, but span it out for the whole week, because I can then properly do the work that I have to do. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. I've talked about this in the auditions. I've talked about it in a lot of stuff, and this is exactly what it is as well. Make sure you schedule that self-care day for you because it's going to help you so much in the long run. We are covering a lot here, honeys. I want to know, what are some of the biggest challenges you're facing by doing a 9-to-5 job and also being an actor? Drop your comments down below because you never know, somebody actually might need to hear your story and you might be able to help them. So let's keep this community growing. We're coming to the end of the video. So yeah, honeys, can you be an actor and also work a 9-to-5 job? Yes, 100% you can. As long as you choose the right job, you're managing and blocking out your schedule properly, you are avoiding your burnout, and you are managing your time correctly, you can do it. It is very, 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 very possible. You just have to work the system and work it right and hustle. Honeys, I love you so much. I'm gonna end the vlog here. Not the vlog. Oh my God, it's not a vlog. It's a talking video. I can't believe I just said vlog. I'm gonna end the video here is what I meant to say. I love you all. Don't forget to drop your comments below what challenges you're facing in working in a 9-to-5 career and being an actor as well. I love you all, and I'm gonna see you next Friday. Bye, honeys.